Hello everyone, welcome back to Castlevania Portrait of Ruin. In the last part, we faced off with Death, and we gained access to the Master's Key, which is the area we're in right now. In this part, we'll be doing some more exploring of the Master's Keep, as well as fight the pinnacle boss of the Master's Keep. Right here we have, as I said before, the Master's Keep is full of some of the worst enemies in the game. Not worst as in the hardest to fight, but just worst stat-wise. You've got the enemies with a lot of health, and they appear in very large numbers, like the Flame Demons, which, I mean, once you get a decent weapon, they are quite alright to fight anyways, but then you also have stuff like this Wyvern, which can be very annoying because it does a lot of damage, and it has a sizable amount of health. And then again, more Flame Demons. The Flame Demon actually drops a pretty decent weapon, which we'll be seeing soonish, kind of, I guess. Because I think we get that one in this video. Otherwise, yeah, there we go. We got the Agni's Flame, which is, I don't know what it really is, if it's like a reference to something. I know that Agni is sort of like fire in some language, or, something like this. Like that. In the Devil May Cry series, you have a boss called Agni and Rudra, and they're both like fire and ice, or red and blue, really. I don't know how it relates to Castlevania, but I do know that Agni means like flame or some, or fire, or has something to do with fire in some mythology as such. Here we have the Ruler Sword, one of the most annoying enemies of this area and the upcoming areas. It has a lot of health, and it's kind of tough to take down. It does a lot of attacking as well, like like that. And has a lot of range and stuff. It's very annoying, which I would recommend to skip past this one until you have a more better way to deal damage, because it's not worth fighting it for such a long time. Also, it apparently doesn't really. I think it has drops, but I'm not sure. I think it has like one drop or something, but it might be something that you can get from another monster. Either way, a Ruler Sword, kind of annoying. There are variants of it in other Castlevania games, where you have the same kind of concept of a big sword commanding a lot of tiny swords. There's also in Symphony of the Night, as well as Dawn of Sorrow and Aria of Sorrow, I think, you have Alastor, which I think has been in other games as well. But you got Alastor, which is basically like Phantom, using a big levitating sword, sort of. Here we find ourselves in quite a pickle. We cannot proceed through this area, at least not right now, and Charlotte will explain why. This is actually a scene that I would love to see reimagined in like 3D, because as we see it, we just see the wall being all magic and stuff, but the characters, I think, can see through it and see the other side. I would love to see like a 3D interpretation of that scene, where they can look through the magic barrier and see what's on the other side, and then be confused why they can't, because they seem very confused as to why they can't get through there. Otherwise, we have some more exposition here, I guess. Again, story, whatever. It's not hugely important. I mean, I like that there is some kind of story, and it does add to the overall canon of Castlevania. Not that I think anyone really cares about that. I'm not sure. And here we find out like one of the big clues how to proceed in the game. Because moving on, there's a boss battle, which we will see in this video, where you need to do something specific in order to proceed with the whole game. But anyway, so it turns out that Vincent here has been bitten by a vampire or something, and that he's, you know, sort of dying slowly. Don't know how to explain it. Yeah, so we need to find a way to get rid of that. Some kind of spell, perhaps. And that's what we'll be doing right now, because the thing we are looking for is hugely important. Without the spell that we are getting, we can't actually proceed through the game at all. I'll be explaining it a bit later as we come to it, but right now all you need to know is that you basically need a specific thing to get the, you know, the true ending of the game. So what we'll be doing here is we'll be returning to the Sandy Grave. As soon as I start fucking around, of course. I don't know what I'm doing here, but yeah, we'll be returning to the Sandy Grave, and I'll be showing here on the map where in the Sandy Grave we're at. It's right here in the room with the boulders. And basically, once you have the Toad morph, you can go through this narrow passage, and then beyond this point you will find, well, you'll see, you'll find a new spell for Charlotte called Sanctuary. And it says that it's an advanced spell that cures status abnormalities within range, which, you know, you'll be thinking, oh, it's like a cure-all or something, but it's actually a very plot-specific spell, if you can think about it that way. You'll, as I said, you'll see, I'll be explaining it in due time, once we reach the place to use it, but, well, the first place to use it is actually, you know, here for Vincent. And now, now Eric is talking about, you know, since we have this Sanctuary spell, a purification spell, we can help his daughters who have become, you know, cursed with vampirism by a Bronner. If you forgot already, I don't even know. But yeah, so Eric is all like, oh, okay, so a purification spell, etc, etc. But we'll be using it momentarily here on Vincent to make sure that he's okay. I don't know if there's like a downside to not using it. I'm not sure. I always just end up using it, but as you can see, it takes a long time to cast, which is downside. So it's not really just like, oh, a cure-all. If I'm poisoned or whatever, I can't use it. And then Vincent's being a total dick here by, like, he's not even gonna offer us a free item or anything. He's just like, oh, you cured me. Well, okay, moving on. The point of the matter is, Eric wants us to cure his daughters so that they can be alright, so that they're no longer under Bronner's control, which, you know, it's pretty important. It's, you know, something that you would want for your daughters, but at the same time, he doesn't, like, want to see them again because they think he's dead. I mean, you probably caught all that from the cutscene, but yeah. Anyways, here's a boss door which leads to well, you'll see. It's in the Master's Keep. It leads to the sisters. And here you get a dialogue box that only appears if you have the Sanctuary spell. Charlotte says, oh, there's something that we can do now. And what you need to do in this fight is you need to cast Sanctuary so that you hit either of the sisters. It does take a while. I got extremely lucky here because they went into the area of effect and they didn't cancel out the spell. Normally, you know, if you're not that lucky, they'll attack Charlotte and it'll cancel the spell, which is annoying because it does take a while to cast. Of course, you know, if you can just stand in a corner and, you know, make sure that they do get hit by it, it's fine. But I mean, you also have to make sure that they will not use any ranged attack and stuff. I didn't get to show off all their attacks here, unfortunately, but that's just, you know, that's kind of the way it was. But they actually have the same attacks, or Stella has the same attacks as we did when he fought her solo. Loretta uses ice magic and such, can drop like icicles, and she can also power up Stella's sword, which we did see. Otherwise, it's a very... I mean, it's not really a boss fight, because here's the thing, if you actually fight them and you defeat them, you get the game's bad ending. And as I said, this is a 100% playthrough, or as you should know by this point, and that means that I will not settle for the bad ending, because there's so much more like content to go through. I mean, we still have that weird barrier which we can't even go past, which we need to dispel somehow. And you know, yeah. And that's basically really about it. So now we've saved Stella and Loretta, and they're no longer under the curse of vampirism. Very interesting stuff. And yeah, they're you know, remembering their father, stuff like that. And then, you know, now they're on our side, so they're willing to help us, you know, defeat Browner and such. And here's the kicker. Here we see not 1 or 2, but 4, or actually 5 new paintings. And this is the second half of the game. These 4 painting worlds plus the big one in the middle is basically the second half of the game. For now, we won't go into any of them, but in the next part we will tackle one of them. But until then, I will see you guys next time. Please leave a like if you like this video, leave a dislike if you dislike it. Thanks for watching.